This week, iRacing released its new modified chassis. The new model chassis will replace the old ones used for both the SK Modified as well as the Whelen Tour Modifieds. For those already driving Modifieds, the best news is that this is a free upgrade. Let's see how the new mod stacks against its predecessor in this episode of Rithwald Reviews, the iRacing 2019 SK Modified. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow on Facebook, and join the chat on Discord. You'll find detailed links in the description. The new chassis is laser scanned from the current Fury Model M. This is the same chassis that drivers like Doug Coby, Justin Bonsignore, and Craig Lutz race and win in. In the real world, it's a very tried and tested platform, but how does that translate over to iRacing? Exterior-wise, the car looks plain beautiful. It matches its real-world counterpart, and it should be, being a laser-scanned replica. One of the first things you'll notice is the wheels look noticeably bigger. It really adds to the aggressive look of these open wheelers. The bodywork has become more rounded to help with aerodynamics. The front has a nice S curvature as compared to the straight angle front of the previous chassis. The hood's been reworked to showcase that beautiful air filter, such a staple of these cars. The cutout behind the B-pillar has been removed. Also, the rear spoiler has grown to help with downforce. The suspension has gotten a massive upgrade, which we'll get into more when we talk about the setup changes. To help protect it, the side bumper bars have been beefed up. The new design just looks incredible. The first thing you'll notice when you get inside the car is that the curvy windshield that the old car had has been replaced with an actual windshield. Also, your A-pillars have been wrapped with bodywork on this chassis. This makes them a little thicker and cuts down on some visibility. The gauges have been enhanced with backlit dials that change colors, like when you're over revving the car. They all work great, but depending upon your FOV settings, they may be hard to see using a static screen. VR users will get the most out of these. The mirror in the car I found to be very high for my current FOV as well. I normally use the virtual mirror, so it's not that big of a deal, but for some that could be an issue. Also, the full retainment seat has been upgraded. If you push your seat back to try and see more items on your car, you'll block your view of what's going on around you due to the massive head restraints. Overall, the interior is beautiful, but you won't be seeing much of it unless you're using VR. If you're having issues with the default view, you can hit Ctrl F12 while spectating and change the camera position. I've left a link in the description to some settings I found that work great on static screens. iRacing has really done a great job with this car. I was at the track watching the Whelen Tour mods at Thompson last night, and it was amazing how close the sound is. The pops and the gurgles when it idle are perfect, and the sound of acceleration is meaner and more of that V8 growl. I'm excited to see what this car sounds like in a pack at the start of Season 3. If you've raced the Modifieds in the past, your old setups are unfortunately not going to work. The components of the car are significantly different, and many of the settings we have used are either gone or been simplified. For instance, bump in the shocks is gone and rebound is now a scale from -45 to 0. I do like this change though, as it really simplifies this part of the setup. One other change that really stands out is that the rear sway bar length setting is gone. That used to be a great way of controlling oversteer. Overall, I like the changes that were made to the new chassis. The SK Modified has always been an easy-to-tune chassis, and they just made it simpler. If you're coming out of rookies and looking to get into your first open setup series, you can't go wrong learning on the SK mods. So I've put in several hundred laps since the release of the new chassis last week at Myrtle Beach. I've been using Myrtle Beach as my baseline setup for the last 2 seasons, so I wanted to continue that tradition with this new chassis. The fastest I got the old car around the track was a 17.7, so that was the bar. With the new chassis, the fastest I could get was a 17.8. Slower, but the old car had been refined over 2 seasons. I'm sure with some practice and tuning that time would come down as well. One thing I did notice, which was a huge positive, is the new chassis is consistent. Even when I was running 18s, it was always an 18 lap after lap after lap. The old chassis might put in a 17.7, but then put in a 18.4 right after that. It seems like the new chassis and whatever they're doing with the aero package and suspension made it a dream to drive. The only real issue I've had is changing where I look to find the apex. The bulky A-pillar I found blocked where I used to look to pick up the apex through the corner. I took a few hundred laps, but I'm finally starting to adjust. Your mileage may vary. I was pretty disappointed with the new chassis when I first got in it. The view inside on a fixed screen setup took a lot of adjusting to. Now that I've had some time to adjust, I'd say the new mod is a big move forward. The true test will be the first week of Season 3. How does it handle side by side? Will the visibility problems cause more wrecks? We'll see soon enough. My big hope is it'll bring more people into the series. If you've just received your D-Class license and you're looking for somewhere to go next, I highly encourage you to come check out the SK Modified series. They're really easy to drive and a great place to start learning how to build your own setups. The SK Modified community is fantastic and always welcoming to help new drivers learn the ropes. Join a practice lobby, ask for help, and you're sure to find someone on that can point you in the right direction. Who knows, maybe you'll even find yourself in one of my Modified Monday videos. What do you think of the new mods? Leave a comment in the description below. Season 3 of Modified Mondays will be debuting next week, so hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, be sure to check out Tuning Tuesday over on Facebook next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be getting the car ready for the first race of Season 3. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to get out there and support your local short tracks. Peace!